Starting. Hey, yeah, there we go. Well, welcome everybody. Welcome once again to Astronomy Daily Live. This is for February 3rd, 2019. Wow, it's absolutely amazing that it's already February 3rd. So yeah, I hope everybody had a nice previous spin of this planet. It's pretty good here. Nothing incredibly exciting. Just, I guess the only thing that I should say is that a week from today, this live stream is going to be canceled because I've got another musical gig that is going to take me away from here. That for me, it's the evening of the 9th. So that'll obviously be UT time. That'll be the 10th. So yeah, I'll make sure to mention this at least a few more times before then. But yeah, the live stream for the 10th is ain't gonna happen because yours truly is gonna be playing on the board there with my musical partner who does Native American flute, and so he's incredibly awesome. And
do you ever record any of that video?
Yeah, we actually do. I can I'll put up some links over on the Discord channel. I think we've got a few there. We're sort of starting to ramp all that up just a little bit more. He's actually going to be starting his own YouTube channel and doing, I think, like weekly things where he basically just sort of talks for a few minutes. I think he's calling them devotionals. So yeah, he'll have just some kind of little quote, and maybe he'll tell some kind of a story. He's a very, very, very good storyteller and actor, right? And so I think that's what he's going to be doing there. And a great musician too. Makes my job really, really, really easy. So yeah. So yeah, that's we're going to be doing that next weekend, and that's that. Hopefully is going to be ramping up a little bit more too. But who knows?
What is it you
right?
play when you get together? Is it your acoustic guitar?
No, I'm playing the board over here.
Oh,
yeah.
Cool. Keyboard.
Yeah. No, I'm
cosmic electronic.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. That's the kind of music I like, and that's the kind of music is relatively easy to play too. It sort of depends, but yeah. In terms of the guitar and stuff, I'm still very much a newbie when it comes to that. Although I'm trying to ramp up on that too a little bit. So we'll see how all that goes. I'm going to pull up my chat here really quick, see what's going on. Ingrid, nice to see you again from Brazil. So very, very cool. Thanks for coming in. Chris Elliott is there as well. Excellent. Danielle E. Hey, nice to see you in the chat. I think you're new here, so yeah, welcome. So yeah, what we do here each and every day, practically every single day at 2 hours UTC, is we talk all things astronomy and space and science and nerdy things. Bobby likes to throw in some radio stuff, which is extremely cool.
Hey.
And
And I just
yeah,
asked dumb questions.
and Tim is here, and really great to see panelists on here. So yeah, actually, let me say hi to the panelists formally. So there's Bobby over there. Hey, Bobby, what's going on?
The much cosmic oh yeah, Patrick still think it's from Russia.
And we've also got Tim over there. He's over in the UK, so it's 2:06 a.m.
Correct.
And he's really making me want to fart when it's smoking.
Smoking makes you fart.
So
These cigarettes make you fart.
My great aunt used to have a coffee mug. On one of the sides it says "Please don't smoke," and it's if assuming that you're drinking coffee with that mug, you tip it over, start drinking it, and then it's got like a thing in the bottom that says, "And I won't fart."
Well,
I'm going to smoke all the more now, so you better mute your microphone, Bobby.
you better mute it. You better mute it. But yeah, this is just a fun, casual get together. To think and talk. Space, astronomy, and all that. So yes, grab your favorite consumable of choice, whatever that is, whatever it is, and sit back, enjoy. This is like a virtual porch, right? So we're sitting back in our lounge chairs out on the porch. It's nice. It's sort of dusk, right? The sky is perfectly clear, and we're starting to see all the stars popping out. Maybe there's like a crescent moon over here. So yeah, this is just a fun, casual get together where we sit and chat and think astronomy and space and science and nerdy things for usually goes a little bit more than an hour, but I like to keep it close to an hour if I can. But at least with me, once I get started, right, it's like it's really hard to stop, right? But yeah, I try to keep track of those things if I can. So
you ever get a feeling like when like you just got money and it's like and the first thing you do is like start spending on a lot of stuff for sure, and then the next thing you know it's like whoa, wait a minute, it's like do I want to get this, do I want to get that, and it's like dude, what if it for sure it's like you got bills, and it's like you got bills that you pretty much got to pay. And it's like this song I heard one time on Amazon Music, and it lyrics goes something like this. It's my simple sir, this ain't gonna work. And I forgot the rest of it, but it's just like you can't take this place and stuff. But it's like this isn't gonna work at all.
Well, I think what you have to do is you have to prioritize things, right?
And whose pocket doesn't get burned by money?
Yeah, exactly. So prioritize things. It's like electricity is probably a pretty nice thing to have all the time. Food is a pretty nice thing to have, at least once in a while.
I just wish on Friday I can and will pay that water bill, but for some whatever reason, the meter reader kept on calling in sick, and by the time whenever I went Friday in attempt to pay the bill, she was talking about that, and it's like, dang, because like the bills are going to be late again, and I may not have the money to pay it because of that delay. And I was like, dude, and I can understand the holidays. and other stuff. But a meter reader that kept on calling sick.
Yeah, that's not fair. That's not fair. It's like, I've got this big chunk of cash, right? It's like burning, 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 burning. And yeah. My solution to that, right, is to just have enough, right? Don't have too much, just have enough. Um, uh, so, so, uh, um, so, you just have enough, to afford everything, and then there isn't anything left. And it's like, cool, I've got it done. So Ingrid's asking, will I cancel this live? Won't you talk about astronomy? Well, yeah, being that, this is a group of friends, we definitely like to catch up on things and chit chat about lots and lots and lots of stuff. But I think Ingrid is right. Let us get to the astronomy talk. So, what I like to do at the beginning of each month is actually go over to cloudynights.com, and they post a really, really, really great synopsis of all the astronomical events that are going to take place for the coming month. So I definitely want. Go
Before
ahead.
we can continue and stuff, another thing that comes into mind is like you just like got a nice, good, decent desktop or laptop computer with a HDMI cable. The first thing that comes into mind is like, well, I'm pretty much going to be using it for internet, but think of the things you can have in a competitive advantage when it comes to like computers with HDMI outputs. Dude, if you can and if you want to, you don't need no Fire Stick or any streaming media device or one of those Android boxes and stuff. No, you don't need all that. Why can't you not just get either a 6-foot cable or a 12-foot HDMI cable, pretty much install Kodi, and get a nice, good, decent bill, and voila, bam! You got yourself the same freaking thing as if you was using a Fire Stick or an Android box.
I've never seen a Bobby rant before. This is funny.
Oh yeah, no, I like it. I like it. So yeah, I totally agree, Bobby. Totally agree. Ingrid reminds me that there was a large meteor event seen in Cuba yesterday. And I haven't actually heard a lot of news about it. And bad on me, I really haven't looked into it or anything. I'm hoping that there's some videos and all of that. But yeah, these are relatively common, right? Being that it's the planet Earth, right? There's a 70% chance that it's going to land over water, right? And since there aren't a lot of people over water, these things usually aren't seen. But once in a while, these are going to hit over land, and so yeah, I haven't heard a lot of news about this, but yeah, there was some large meteor event. I guess there was a sonic boom or some kind of an explosion. So yeah. Hey there, Desiree. Nice to see you too. So yeah. Well, Desiree, you have your priorities in line. So get the chores done first. Then come over here, sit back, and relax. relax. So cool. Yeah, I need to look into that meteor hit a little bit more and see exactly. I've seen a couple of pictures, but that's about it. So yeah, I definitely need to check that out a little bit more. So yeah, so before we look at this month's events, what I also like to do is sort of give ourselves a chance to see sort of what our position is, what our situation is. And I see that Tom's in the chat. Hey, Tom, nice to see you in the chat. Very, very cool. Glad you could come by once again. So to sort of see what our situation is, what I like to do is I like to go over and look at the solar system view, right? Which shows you the position of the sun and the position of all the planets. From sort of a top view or a bottom view, depending on your perspective. So let's do that first. And the one that I like sort of best, and it's a matter of opinion, is the one over at Heavens Above. So let's go over there. I'm going to share my screen, and let's go over here and take a look here. So I've made this a little big. So yeah, this is showing the four inner planets, and then this larger view, which we'll get to in a minute, shows the four outer planets and Pluto. They are even showing Pluto still, which is fine with me. I don't care what they show, as long as they show the planets and the sun. That's probably good enough for now. So I just like to do this because it gives me a little bit of perspective in terms of when we go outside and actually look up, we can sort of look and see where the planets are, and yeah, it gives us a little bit of a perspective. So here we are on the Earth, right? Here we are, and here's the sun, right? And I think from this perspective, all the planets are going around counterclockwise, right? So Earth is going this way, and Mercury is going that way, and Venus is going that way, and Mars is going that way. And of course, with the outer ones too. Jupiter is going that way, Saturn that way, Uranus is going that way, and where the heck is Neptune? Neptune is somewhere out here. There it is, right there. And Pluto too, of course, is going that way. So everybody on this chart is going around the sun counterclockwise, right? And the one of the interesting things that Kepler actually first noticed back in the 1400s, 1500s or so, that the closer you are to the sun, the faster you seem to move, right? So Mercury is moving pretty fast, Venus a little bit slower, the Earth a little bit slower, Mars a little bit slower, and in fact, down here, the bottom, the Heavens Above site actually shows how fast all these objects are moving in kilometers per second. And so, as you can see, as of this date and this time, right, Mercury is moving almost 46 kilometers per second. Venus is at about 35. The Earth is at about 30. Mars at 24 and a half-ish or so. Jupiter 12.7. Saturn 9.1. And Uranus about 6.6. Neptune about 5.5. And Pluto also at about 5.5. Now, if these orbits were perfectly circular, then these velocities would never change, right? But because they're slightly off circular, then these velocities are actually constantly changing, right? So in a certain sense, these planets are feeling a slight change in velocity all the time, either the acceleration or deceleration. But at this time, this date and all that, that's what they are. We could probably actually change this by 1 day and see maybe that those numbers change a little bit. Let's just do an update and see. So I'm going to look at Earth's here, 30.22, and I'm just going to change this by 1 day and see if our velocity changes. I don't know if we'll notice that or not. 30, yeah, see, it's changed a little bit, right? I think if we change this by a month, right, if we go to March 2nd, we'll definitely see that changes. Definitely, for sure. Let's see. Yeah, see? So we're actually in the process of slowing down a little bit, right? Earth is. Mercury, as you can see, is in the process of speeding up. So, all right, well, let's go back to today. And of course, this is a local time. So I'm here in southeastern Arizona in the United States. And so I'm actually 7 hours behind UT. I'm 7 hours behind Tim. And so here it's actually, 7:22 p.m. So I just sort of,
for me in Louisiana, I'm 6 hours behind Tim.
Yeah.
But sorry, Deseret, but when it comes to DST, we're 5 hours behind.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and of course that changes, depending on whether you're on standard time or daylight time. In the state of Arizona, we don't change. So I am always on Mountain Standard Time, which is always 7 hours behind UTC. So I don't have to think much about that. I do have to think about it, because relative to all the other time zones, things change. But that's pretty fast, right? 30 kilometers per second, right? I mean, over the course of a day, right? There's 86,400 seconds. Is that right? 2,400. 24. Yeah. So over the course of a day, right? 30.22. That's 2.6 million kilometers, right? In just 1 day. Wow. Right. So we are moving, right? We are moving quick. Now that, of course, doesn't take into account Earth's rotation, and it doesn't take into account the motion of the entire solar system going around the galaxy, right? So this is just the motion of the Earth, right? 2.6 million kilometers per day, right? So that's really, really moving. And I don't know about you, but I don't feel that at all. But that is the situation. Not at all. And what's that, Tim?
I said I do. It blew all the hair off my head. It's all gone.
That could explain it. That could explain it.
And
So
and did you hear about the guy who died of was a royal Enfield was where it was where the queen kept her chickens.
I'm not following that at all. Is that
Royal
you got to
Enfield.
That
explain?
was Tim Robinson saying that. But I know for sure I was watching CNN earlier today, and it looks like you got a good Speaker of the House of Commons empowerment for sure. And if there was ever going to be some he's going to shut that call up. Like,
Yeah.
I think like for sure, like Parliament could have more like that South Park style when Eric Corbett went to 1776 and there was like this big tobacco debate of what's supposed to be right for the country, what's not supposed to be right for the country, and all that other stuff.
Yeah, I used to thoroughly enjoy. I forget what it's called in the House of Commons, where um, folks can just stand up and talk about whatever they want. Yeah, those are always really really interesting, I guess is the right term there. Yeah, you know, it can get really lively. I think you know, that's a healthy thing, right? You know, to be able, you know, to stand up
Tim,
and
I
sort
have
of.
a question for you. What channel does you usually will turn on for the House of Commons and stuff like that? Because with my IPTV service, I can definitely for sure get the UK channels.
Yeah, to be honest, I don't bother watching it. Half of them are asleep, half of them are arguing, and the other people are laughing. And you got the chair speaker with order.
Order, you bow creature of hell!
It's more of a comedy show than anything else.
Yeah. Well, you know, that's you know, part of the debate, and that's real life, right? You know, I mean, that's how it is.
Do you know what would be cool? Get the guy in the chair on the chat here on the screen, and every time Bobby fires up, people going, order, order, let the gentleman speak.
All right, well, cool. So, you know, so one of the other things, you know, that I like to do here is just sort of, you know, give an idea of our perspective, right? So we're sitting here on Earth, and we can look towards the sun, right? Look towards the sun, and now, you know, don't stare at it, right? But if we do that, what we notice, right, is that Mercury right now is pretty much on the opposite side of the sun. So it's just gone through what is called superior conjunction, right? So there are two planets that can go through two different kinds of conjunctions, right? Mercury and Venus. Mercury can either be on this side of the sun and be sort of lined up with it, or it can be on this side of the sun and be lined up with it. That's called the inferior conjunction, right? So there are no other planets that go through two different kinds of conjunctions, but Mercury and Venus can. Of course, you know, the other planets can too, but they're always going to be superior conjunctions, right? So it sort of looks like Mercury right now is maybe just sort of past. I'm sort of drawing an imaginary line here, right? And it looks like it's just gone past superior conjunction, which means that it is now, at least according to the Earth, it's going to be to the left of the sun, or to the east of the sun, right? Which means it's going to start becoming an evening star, right? Now, it looks like right now it's sort of too close to the sun to actually see, but you know, over the next few weeks, right, the Earth is going to be slowly moving this way, but Mercury moves faster, right? So at some point, we're going to be able to see that in the evening sky. So yeah, we should definitely keep our eyes open for that. And yeah, I think the orbit of Mercury is about like 87 or 88 Earth days. So, you know, I mean, it's going to take at least another month or so for Mercury, you know, to sort of move that away, right? So, but yeah, you know, we'll definitely keep an eye out for that. So as you can see also, Venus is sort of to the right of the sun, right? Which means it's west of the sun, which means, at least at this point, it's a morning star, right? And for sure, you know, if you get up in the morning, take a look, you know, to the southwest or so, or I'm sorry, the southeast, you will see very, very bright Venus over there, for sure. And also, Mars is to the left of the sun, which means it's up in the evening, right? And of course it is. So, but yeah, you know, that's sort of the situation there with the inner planets. Now, I think what I want to do is actually change this to a smaller size, just so we can sort of see the whole thing here. Update that a little bit, and we can go to the outer solar system. Now, you know, how they have this drawn is, you know, this little box here sort of expands into this whole thing. So we can't actually see where Earth is, but judging from this, right, we can sort of put Earth in this little box, and I will zoom in a little bit here. And we can see that Jupiter is also sort of to the right of the sun, which means it's also up in the morning. And pretty much sort of in alignment with Venus, which is actually the case, right? Now's a good time, you know, to get up early in the morning and see that Venus and Jupiter are actually pretty close to one another in the sky, right? But the cool thing is, right, is that when you look at this thing, you'll see that Venus is on sort of our side of the sun, right? You know, the Earth side of the sun, and Jupiter is.
Welcome, Justin T. Sorry we ignored you and stuff like that. I was
Hey.
actually looking at Tim Robinson. I was like, show that to Cosmin again.
Oh, should I be watching all the shenanigans in the chat? Cool. Local band. Cool. Well, I will definitely have to. I'll definitely have to check that out.
I was trying to be playing in the background without interrupting.
For sure. Good. We like shenanigans here. No problem. No problem at all. And I know, Tim, you know, that you're a big big rocker. So yeah, yeah. But you're not a musician, right? You just like to listen and watch, right?
I used to play drums.
Oh, cool. Oh, cool.
Yeah,
So nice. But you don't have a set at the moment?
I haven't got the room for one. I gave it up about 10 years ago.
Ah. I hope you
Yeah.
still play a little bit.
No, I don't even get the chance now. I just totally miss it. It's one thing I loved.
Well, hopefully at some point you'll be able to pick it up again and keep going with it, because drums, I mean, obviously are extremely important when it comes to rock and roll.
Definitely.
Yeah. Drums and bass
as well.
Yeah, drums and bass are the backbone of rock and roll. So without that, you don't have rock and roll. And the shenanigans are always welcome here for sure. So what does anyone think about the universe orbiting around something so creative? Not quite sure what you mean about that, Desiree, but yeah, for sure things are moving. How and why? Who knows? So, but yeah, that's sort of an interesting perspective, to keep in mind, is that when you go out in the morning and look at Venus and Jupiter, relatively close to one another, or it seems as though they are. The fact of the matter is that Venus is on our side of the sun, and Jupiter is on the other side of the sun, as well as Saturn, right? So yeah, it's just nice, to keep that kind of perspective, right? It sort of looks like Uranus and Neptune are also in the evening sky at the moment. So very cool, very cool. So yeah. I think it's always nice to sort of understand what the situation is, how things are moving, how things are relative, to one another, and of course, because all of us, at least at the moment, are sort of, sitting on this blue ball. It's kind of nice to have, the perspective in terms of where things are. And when you go out and look at them, have an understanding and sort of an appreciation for where things are and how things are moving, I think that's kind of a cool thing. Sometimes it makes me a little bit dizzy, to think about, how things are moving and where things are. But yeah, that's sort of the situation we're in, for sure. All right. Well, let's go over to cloudy nights and at least get started on what's happening in the next month. So cloudy nights is a really great site, very active site. Really nice group of people over there. Really know their stuff. Very friendly. Extremely helpful. And each month.
Tom said about that question, it was there's something that has to keep it in order, or it would keep causing the Big Bang going and going. And we'd like to welcome Danielle Brownie in the chat.
Hey there, Daniel. Nice to see you too.
I thought the effects of the Big Bang were still going and going and going.
Well, the theory is, right, or at least the observation is that everything seems to sort of be moving away from one another. We look at the spectra of objects, and there seems to be a tendency towards a redshift, right? And a redshift sort of implies that things are moving away from one another. And one of the explanations of that is that, sometime in the past there was some kind of an event that caused all this to happen. So yeah, that's I think that's sort of a reasonable explanation. Is it the only explanation? Yeah, no, but it's kind of a reasonable one, I guess. And are there other reasons for redshift? Well, yeah, I think there is. And so, is that the only explanation? No, but it's sort of a good one, and it's sort of the currently accepted one. Is it right? Maybe. Is it wrong? Yeah, maybe.
What else can you imagine causing a redshift?
Well, there
I mean,
there
this is
are
purely speculatory.
yeah, there are intrinsic reasons why redshift would occur, and having to do with the actual material that you're looking at itself, right? So it doesn't necessarily have to be caused by any kind of a Doppler um, 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 Doppler effect. And in fact, we see this. We actually see quasars that are actually between us and other galaxies, and the redshifts of quasars are actually different than these galaxies. So yeah, there's something a little bit strange about the Doppler explanation for redshift, but a lot of these things haven't really been studied all that well either. So my suggestion is to keep skepticism about any explanation very, very high, and keep an open mind about all the other possible explanations as well. So anyone that says, okay, for sure this is how it is, to me that's sort of a red flag. So I don't think that we can be sure about much of anything.
I mean, we just got like the Hubble, the Voyager in interstellar space, and looking at the galaxies and all that other stuff. So we don't know what's actually in those other galaxies or any other stuff and stuff like that. It for sure, I think pretty much the Voyagers will die before it definitely leaves the galaxy. So you may never ever would know about the fate of Voyager, about probably when the batteries die and stuff like that. But if we was up to like just go there ourselves, then we can definitely can do some studying for sure.
Yeah, well, all these things are based on models, right? And models, uh, just by definition are guesses, right? And usually models are very, very complicated things. And yeah, we should probably talk about this a little bit more at some other time, because even the simplest of models, can have a lot of possibilities. And so, to say that, okay, this is how it is, and we're absolutely sure about it. It's just that's just absolutely not true at all.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
So, like, I can take the grants of Carl Sagan's cosmic and Neil deGrasse Tyson's version of year one and a year two. He also said about at year two, it could be like the end of the universe and stuff.
yeah. Well, there are some funny things about the cosmic calendar, right? In that in that you know uh, there is sort of a a a thing that is implied there, in that there is some kind of a beginning and some kind of an end, right? And whether there is or not, I don't know about that. Don't know.
Can you agree that we're in the last 10 seconds of that calendar?
Um. Well, you know, given given that calendar, um, then really that's just a matter of measuring, right? And saying, okay, if each month is what, roughly 1.5 billion years old, or long, then yeah, 1 million years of that, or 10,000 years of that, is going to imply a certain number of seconds, right? In that, so yeah, there aren't any kinds of problems um, in terms of time relative to that calendar. But whether that calendar is correct, yeah, hard to know. Hard to know.
And if you're gonna create something like that for sure, you gotta take some good, decent measurements.
Yeah, and I mean, um, good, decent measurements have been made, but whether that actually means what they say it means, that's sort of where the skeptical part of me goes, well, maybe there can be other explanations too. Don't know. I mean, we've always been really, really sure about ourselves, right? We were sure for a long, long, long time that the Earth was the center of the universe, right? We were sure of it, and we had data to show it too, right? And we were really, really sure for a really, really long time that the Earth was flat, and we had data to show it, right? And both of those things are probably not quite right, right? And we can use the same kind of data to show that the sun is sort of the center of the solar system, right? And we can
And
use
Ted
it.
Robinson does have a point. Being too easy would definitely take away from the mystery of it.
Yeah. Well, that's it too. We're like I said, we humans
Oh,
want to find comfort in things and surety in
oh my
things.
gosh! Thank God when I got out of biology for sure, because I was definitely was like not making it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think that there are so many things that we don't know, that we don't know.
And
That
yeah, check the chat from Little Peanut.
Oh,
And
okay.
we
I
got
will
a
do.
pretty much one of those people that is just check it.
Yeah. Lil Peanut. Hey, this is James Jones from the Flat Earth Institute. I would love to talk to you guys about his. Yeah. Well, I've got my contact info, Lil Peanut, down in the description. So feel free to get a hold of me that way, for sure, for sure. So yeah, you know, I'm open to anything, right? Wide open for sure. Anyway, let's spend a little.
Anybody from all theories can join in the same conversation. You know,
Yeah,
without. That's the most important part.
absolutely, absolutely. Everyone is welcome here for sure. So, well, let's spend at least a little bit of time looking at the astronomical events that are going to be happening over the next month. And maybe we won't get through all of these because I'm noticing what time it is already. And you know, that's what happens. You know, when I start talking astronomy and space and science and stuff, time just flies. Time just flies. So all right. Well, let's see. So, yeah, this is from Cloudy Nights, and like I said, every single month, Dave Mitski um, comes up with this great list, talking about various astronomical events that are going to be taking place over the next month. So let's get into it. I'm going to take a sip here of this great HOH. Cheers.
I'll keep my lager, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Enjoy. All right, so we're already into the third day of the month, but let's sort of see what happened the first couple of days here. So Mercury is at its southernmost latitude from the ecliptic plane. So that's about as far south on the ecliptic as it's going to get. So the ecliptic is this imaginary plane that sort of defines the plane of the orbit of the Earth relative to the sun. Right? I think that's the ecliptic plane. And so all the other planets, again, you know, aren't perfectly aligned, and so you know sometimes they're going to be a little bit below that, sometimes they're going to be a little bit above that, and it just so happens that at 15 hours UTC on the 1st, Mercury was as south as it was going to get. Okay, cool. Let's see, on the 2nd at 7 hours UTC, the moon was really close to Saturn, and actually some kind of occultation looks like it took place for some of us, not over here in North America, but Central Europe and the Middle East. They saw a nice instance where the moon actually passed in front of Saturn for a little while, so that must have been pretty cool looking. And it also looks like it passed in front of Pluto around 20 hours UTC, so that was just actually a few hours ago.
And I'd like to welcome Deep Sky doing the chat.
Hey there, Deep Sky Dude.
I just subscribed to him last week. Awesome channel. Awesome.
Yeah, very awesome. Very awesome. Make sure to check out Deep Sky Dude for sure. Yeah, excellent. So just happening in a few minutes at 3:01 UTC on the 3rd, the astronomical cross quarter day. So that's the halfway point between the solstice and the equinox takes place, and yeah, that's actually one of my favorite days of the year. And that is actually happening in about 6 minutes from now. So yay, very cool. And let's see, also happening today at 7 hours UTC is that the moon is going into descending node. So that means that the moon is at a declination of 0 degrees heading south in declination. Let's see, so tomorrow at 21:04, moon is new. So that's pretty cool. Always nice when that happens. Let's see, on the 5th, the moon's going to be at the apogee, which means it's furthest away from Earth in its orbit, which means it's going to appear about as small as it's going to be. And like I said, it's furthest away, so 406,555 kilometers from the Earth. That's going to be happening at 9:29 UTC on the 5th. So yeah, that's sometimes I'm not exactly sure why he lists what he lists. I mean, it's not actually very bright or anything. So yeah, for some reason he just sort of decided to list that one. Let's see, the moon relatively close to Vesta. That's kind of cool. Close enough that there's actually going to be an occultation, right? So the moon's going to pass in front of Vesta, as seen from portions of Western Russia at 8 hours UTC. That's kind of cool.
Got to hit the thumbs up. Hit the thumbs up, everybody.
Hit the thumbs up if you so desire. Yeah, that'd be nice.
About that.
Cool. Thank you. So let's see. Let's see, the moon relatively close to Neptune on the 7th. 8th and 9th doesn't look like anything too much is happening on the 10th. So that's kind of neat, right? The moon, Mars, and Uranus are all relatively close to one another. Again, that means that the moon is sort of over here, Mars is here, and Uranus is way over here. So cool. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm the type of person for sure that knows that the Earth is round, because if the Earth was flat for sure, the way that we see day and night and the way, and being a short wave radio person, the rules of propagation would change for sure and stuff, and you may not get your audience that you want.
Exactly same train of thought I've got, but
yeah,
I'm not do anything else.
The approach that the flat earthers take is sort of a non-scientific approach. They have a different approach, and which I respect, but I also don't quite understand. I haven't looked into it enough.
I'd say flat earthers would never get the duck.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know enough about the approach that is taken to come to that kind of conclusion. What I found is that a lot of the people who are sort of in that arena seem to be kind of mean and rude, and some kind of aggressive too, and I just don't like that all that much. So, but I'm definitely open, to those kinds of interpretations, but I haven't really seen much convincing. It seems to be, like I said, kind of mean and rude, and not very respectful. All right, well, let's keep going here for a little while. I'm noticing that it's now 3 hours UTC, so we're pretty much at the moment of the cross quarter, so that's kind of cool. Let's see what else is going on. On the 11th, nothing much. 12th, 13th. So the 13th is first quarter at 22:26. Let's see. On the 13th, Mars is relatively close to Uranus, at least from our point of view. Everything lines up really nice and well. 14th, Moon is relatively close to Aldebaran. On the 16th, the Sun enters the constellation Aquarius. Yeah, things like this, I'm not quite sure why he lists those, because that's not incredibly close, and it's sort of like, well, okay, Pollux is a relatively bright star, I guess. So let's see, on the 17th, Moon goes into ascending node, which means it's, again, at a declination of 0 degrees, but it's going north now. On the 18th, Venus is relatively close to Saturn. What is Tim laughing about? Is there something in the chat that I'm completely missing?
He's actually doing lots of shenanigans for sure.
I gotcha. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if it's a troll movement or not. They, I actually think that and I forget. I think it was Tom that actually mentioned the method used to come, to that kind of a conclusion. So I don't know if Tom is still in the chat. If he can remind us what that method is. It isn't the scientific method. It's another methodology that is used to come to that kind of a conclusion. I need to look into it still. I still haven't yet. Yeah, like I said, it seems to me that most of the folks in there are a little rude, a little mean, and aggressive, and that sort of turns me off too. Whether they have a legitimate argument or not, for me, that's still sort of I'm not sure.
He probably didn't remember talking about that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep. All right. What else is going on this month here? So Venus and Saturn relatively close to one another on the 18th. Mercury relatively close to Neptune on the 19th. Moon is at What's that, Tim?
Hey, Astro, didn't realize he was in the chat.
Oh, yeah. He's there. Let's see. On the 19th, Moon is at perigee, which is the closest it's going to get to Earth this time around, this month. So that's happening on the 19th at 9:03 UTC. So, yeah, closest approach. And of course, the closer it gets, the bigger it seems to be. So full moon is also on the 19th. So that's sort of a perigee moon, or so-called super moon. I don't really like the term super moon all that much. I think
I
that's
can hear some meowing on the cats.
yeah. I think somebody wants in here, but he can wait. He can wait. So yeah, that's kind of a fun thing. It's going to be a relatively large moon on the 19th. That's pretty cool. Let's see. Venus, Saturn, and Pluto pretty close to one another on the 23rd. So Mars and Jupiter are at heliocentric opposition on the 23rd. So I think that's that from Mars, Jupiter is going to be, I think, right? Because, yeah.
A lack of critical thinking
true.
and welcome space TV is that the roof of flat Earth belief is a lack of critical thinking is the root of a flat Earth believer. It's really that simple.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know if it's critical thinking that there's a lack of, or just a different way of thinking. Because I think there is a methodology to that. Yeah, whether it's wrong or right, I haven't really investigated it enough to at least for myself, come to any kind of a conclusion. It isn't a scientific way of thinking. Now, is the scientific method, is that correct? Is it right? I don't know. Don't know. Don't know. I like to keep an open mind about things, right? So yeah, without really investigating it really hard, I personally don't have any opinions about that yet. I need to look at it a little bit more, for sure. Anyway, on the 23rd,
Those were taught
like,
that they are self-centered without common manners.
yeah, well, that has been my experience. Is that they do seem to be a little rough, right? So that's sort of a turnoff for me. So yeah. So let's see. On the 25th, Mercury is at perihelion, which means it's the closest that it's going to get to the sun. Pretty darn close. So last quarter, or third quarter, happens on the 26th of the moon, that is. On the 27th, Mercury is going to be at greatest eastern elongation, right? So that's what I was saying. It's going to be sort of over here, and of course, the Earth will have moved a little bit. We can actually look at that. We can go to the 27th. 27th here. That we can look at that chart. So yeah, that's sort of going to be the geometry there. So from Earth, Mercury is going to be the furthest it's going to appear from the sun. So definitely a good time to see it. If you haven't seen Mercury yet, it's kind of cool, to see that, for sure. And wow, okay, so that's about it for February. Not too much happening in the sky in February.
And given the
So,
fact that it's the shortest month of the year for sure.
well, it is the shortest month, so we can sort of use that excuse a little bit. There's always so much happening, right? That it's hard to narrow down, a few noteworthy events, right? But we have the main players. Moon, the moon is doing its thing. It's going,
What came into mind when, like, the mass majority of months either has 31 days or 30 days, and February either has 28 or 29 days?
I don't know. Somebody had to take the hit, so I guess it was just sort of decided that way. So, yeah, who knows? Who knows? All right. Well, I'm noticing that it's a little bit past the hour, and we've sort of covered the at least the major events for February. So yeah, I think it's a good time to get on out of here for now. I'm going to check the chat again really, really quick, make sure that the shenanigans continue. Good. Very, very good. So, all right. Well, I think I'm going to get out of here for now. So, all right. Well, take care, everybody. Yeah, I think I'm gonna amscray for today. So, thanks again so much for coming in. It's always excellent to have a nice crowd here. I'm noticing that it's actually sort of a larger crowd than normal. So nice, excellent, excellent. I'm here to share passion, and so the more folks I can share that with, the better. So excellent. Well, I think for now I'm going to get out of here. So have a great evening, a great day, wherever you are on this planet. I think a large portion of the planet is represented here tonight. So very, very cool, very excellent. All right, well, have a great evening, a great day. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Whichever you prefer. Make some comments, share this around, and hey, let's do this again tomorrow, each and every day, 2 hours UTC. I'm here sharing astronomy, sharing science, space, all the nerdy things.
I'm back on the job on Monday, so I don't think I'll be here tomorrow night.
Okay, all right. Well,
say never.
Yeah, and that I think is, one of the nice things about having a daily live stream is that you can come in whenever you like, and I'm usually here. Like I said, actually a week from now I won't be, for one day. But I definitely like to get in here each and every day, same time, same place. So, all right, well, bye for now, and take care, everybody, and I will see you in a little less than 23 hours from now. All right, take care, everybody.
Thank you very much, buddy. All the very best.
I will see you
Take care, Bobby, and everyone
later.
in the chat.
Bye-bye.
All right.